Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this quick webinar on using Claude with Excel for FP&A. So Excel was always used in FP&A. Now, Claude is changing the way we use Excel in FP&A. If you look at where we are progressing in terms of FP&A and AI, most of the rule-based stuff will get automated, which means you will be left with analysis and decision-focused roles. And by executing these kind of roles by using AI. So that is where the future of finance is heading. So with that context, we open today's webinar using Claude with Excel for FP&A. So what are we going to cover today? We'll start by understanding what is Claude, how do we install it, how the Excel add-in is making all the changes that we were earlier using in Excel, how Claude is impacting Excel, and how it can be much more faster and efficient as well. So we'll start with the installation and basics, and then we'll get into some practical use cases of using Claude in Excel, specifically use cases in FP&A. Okay. By end of this session, you will get a fair idea of how things are going to change with Claude when it comes to using Excel for FP&A. Okay. And of course, we'll have some time for Q&A in the end, where we will also unmute you and you can ask any questions that you might have on today's session or your FP&A careers in general. Now, for all those of you who stay till the very end, you will get a special bonus where we will be sharing with you 30 use cases with detailed videos and data sets to practice on using Claude with Excel. So that's a special bonus video pack and data set pack that we will share with you only if you stay till the end of the webinar. Okay, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be pretty exciting. Can get rid of all the distractions for the next 60 minutes or so. We're diving deep into Excel, using Claude for Excel in FP&A, and hopefully you will get to learn a lot from there. A little bit about us before we begin with. My name is Dhawal Parvatikar. I'm a qualified chartered accountant. I've also completed my one-year executive management program from IIM Ahmedabad. Over the past 16 years, I've served as a CFO and a finance leader in India and across the Middle East. I'm now the co-founder and lead faculty at FP&A Professionals Institute. Over the past 6 years, I've been an active online instructor. I've trained and mentored more than 5,000 finance professionals on various topics like FP&A, finance business partnering, data storytelling, one-to-one CFO career coaching, and now AI in FP&A. I'm frequently seen in events across the Middle East. You will see me as a speaker, as a panelist, as a moderator. I have also built a strong community of more than 200 plus CFOs across Middle East. We keep meeting every quarter, exchanging insights, and it's a pretty close-knit community where we exchange a lot of ideas. I'm joined by my co-founder, Asif Masani. Asif, a quick snapshot of your experience.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dhawal. And quick introduction about me. I have been working in finance, very specifically in FP&A for over 10 years now. Started in audit back in 2010, moved into FP&A in 2013, and started as an FP&A analyst. And then my most recent role was FP&A lead for APAC and India for one of the biggest tech companies. And that is where in 2023 we started FP&A Professionals Institute. So it has been 3 years now. And what we try to do at FPI is we try to bring in all the expertise, not just my expertise and Dhawal's expertise, but expertise of top FP&A professionals across the globe, right from North America, Middle East, Europe. And we do that and we bring that to you through our courses, books, the 3 books that you see on the right hand side, podcast, YouTube videos, whatever we do at FP&A Professional Institute. So, and over the last 3 years or so, we have trained more than 5,000 students across all of these courses and certifications that you see on the screen. And CGFPA is our flagship certification at FPA Professional Institute, and we'll talk more about it at the end of this webinar. So looking forward to this. It will be great next 60 minutes learning about AI and Claude specifically. So looking forward to this hour.
With that, I welcome everybody once again. So let's get started. So AI is fast evolving. So Asif and I have split our mandates with different tools. So today, let me hand it over to the Claude Master for you. Asif, over to you.
Yeah. So before we get into what is Claude and why it is important, this is when I started paying attention to Claude. So earlier I used to be using either ChatGPT or Perplexity. So those were the two tools that I was using until I would say January 2026. But something happened in end of January, early February 2026, which was about a month back, when you must have noticed this news where all the tech companies around the globe lost billions and hundreds of billions, not even billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap. And that's where Claude interested me, and I thought, okay, you should take a look at this. And over the last 1 month, I've been using Claude very frequent. I would say I've been spending more than 3 to 4 hours every day on Claude over the last 30 days or so. And what it has been able to do with FP&A and finance workflows and processes and use cases absolutely mind blowing. So this would not have been imaginable, I would say, even 1 year back, even when we had ChatGPT very successfully operating. At that time also, we could not imagine that something this like this would come in a matter of a few months. So interesting to see that, and so we thought that we should be sharing that with everybody so that you also can take benefit of that. So we start with how to install Claude and what is exactly Claude first of all. So before we even get into the installations of what is Claude, so Claude is one of your large language models like your OpenAI has your ChatGPT. So it is one of the popular large language models from a company called Anthropic. And what a large language model basically is that it is a model which has been trained on billions and billions of data sets, and these data sets could be your documents, websites, images, videos. So it has been trained over billions and billions of data sets, including different formats. And what it is able to do now based on that is it is able to recognize those patterns, and it is able to predict and execute the instructions based on the prompt that you give, looking at those patterns that it has learned, I would say, over those billions and billions of data set that has been fed to it. Okay, so that is in short what large language model and specifically what we're talking about Claude is today. Okay, so with that, let me quickly share my screen and show you how to install Claude. I will Let me show my screen. Okay, now let me know once you are able to see my screen. Just give me a thumbs up. Okay, wonderful. So this is the website, which is Claude.ai, where you can go and get yourself registered and create a Claude account in case you don't have it yet. Okay, when you land on the website, it's fairly straightforward, just like you create your Instagram account or your Google account. Okay, you could either go and create an account with your email. You can key in your email and then it'll get you a link on your email and you can then create the account. Or the simpler way would be to just use your Google and create the account. Okay, so let me select Google. So I'll say pick Google. And I already have an account, so I'll be using my wife's account. And let me show you how to do that using her account. Okay, so it says you're signing into Claude. I'll say continue. Once you register and create your account, it should take you to this page where you will have to select and agree to its use policy, okay, acceptable use policy. So you can take a look at this, quickly read it, and once you read it, you can tick. This is optional. You don't need to subscribe to their marketing newsletters, but if you want to do that, you can do that as well. So let me say continue. Okay. Now it'll take you to this page where you can select out of one of these three options where you have the free Claude account, which will be good enough if you're using it maybe very casually, maybe once in a day or something like that. So that free account should be good enough. However, for most use cases that we are going to show, we will be using the pro account, which is $19 a month or $20 a month if you pay for it monthly, and if you pay for it annually, it comes down to $17 a month, but it will be billed to you together for 12 months. So most of the use cases that I will be showing to you today is using the pro account. One of the reasons is that not just the usage, so it definitely gives you more usage or more credits. The Claude Excel add-in is not available in the free account as of now, as of I would say last week, till the time I had no updated myself. So till the end of I would say last week, the Claude Excel add-in was not available or is not available in the free account. So for you to be able to download the Excel add-in, you will anyways need the pro account as of now. So you could go and say, get the pro plan, and it will ask you for your credit card details, and then you will get subscribed. I'm not doing that because I already have a subscription. So what I'll do is I'll quickly go into Excel. So once you have the pro account, you should remember this password that you created while you had created the pro account. And then you should head over to Excel. So next, what I will do is once I created my Claude account, I will quickly move into Excel. Okay, so I'm just opening up a new Excel file. So for this to work, you need at least Excel 2016 version or higher is what I've been told. So if you have a older Excel version or an older Office version, it may or may not work, or it may not work as efficiently as it would do in the 2016 plus Microsoft Office version. So you need a Excel or a Microsoft Office which is either 2016 or higher. Okay. Once you have your Excel file open, you can go to your home menu and you will see something called as add-ins here as an option to create or add new add-ins. I already have the Claude add-in, so let me just uninstall it and I'll show you how to reinstall it. Okay, so I'll say remove add-in just because I want to show you how to install it now. What I'll do is I'll click on this add-in option. Dhawal, is your screen visible? The add-in option is visible, right? Okay, so you have to go to this home menu, which is inside your Excel file, and you'll see this add-in option here. And when you click on that, you can just search for Claude and you will see the orange color icon of Claude by Anthropic in Excel. And you can just go ahead and add this. Okay, it will take you about 10 seconds for it to get installed on your Excel. Okay, now you can see that you have the Claude add-in installed. If you are doing this for the first time, it will ask you to connect to your Claude account which you just paid for. Okay. And once you do that, you will be able to see this type of a screen. Okay. So that is the basic setup that you need to do. You need to create a Claude Pro account and then get the Excel add-in inside your Microsoft Excel. Okay. So that is the setup. And once you do that, you will see this Excel add-in inside your Excel, Claude add-in inside your Excel. Okay. I'll just quickly walk you through this interface, how it looks like and what does it do. Okay, so it says beta, so it's still in the beta version. Okay, and it says one of these buttons. You can click on one of these buttons. Build financial models. Explain what is there in this workbook. Transform messy data. Debug formula. So these are the primary use cases that Claude is pushing for you to try out when you install the add-in. Okay. Below that, what you have is your usual chat window that you see inside ChatGPT as well. So here is where you can give your prompt and interact with the Claude add-in. Okay. Below that, there are a couple of tools that you should be aware of. Okay. So the plus sign meaning you can attach files, you can attach photos, you can attach website links. Also, it says something as connectors. Okay, you can attach some connector, which I haven't tried, which will be interesting to try at some point. But I've been using the attach files and the web options very frequently. Okay, so here is where you can attach different attach or you can give different files. Here you see a drop down to select between the different model versions. Okay, so Opus 4.5, Opus 4.6 is the most latest option, and then there is Sonnet 4.6. If you want the most latest version, then you can go for Opus 4.6, and I'll select Opus 4.6 for this particular demonstration. Okay, so that's it about the the Claude interface. And on the right hand side top, you have some settings, and you can log out if you want to do that. Okay, so that's about it. What you see when you get inside the Claude add-in inside it. Okay, I'll take a quick pause, see if there are any comments, questions in the chat box. If not, we can go towards the demonstrations or examples, use cases that we have planned for you. Okay, I don't see anything in the chat box as of now. So let me proceed and show you a couple of use cases. Again, then I'll take a quick pause and then we can take questions. Also, we have time for questions at the end. So if we don't take, so any question related to that particular instance or use case, we will answer there and then. However, if there are questions which are unrelated to that particular use case, overall related to the Claude webinar, we will take it at the end. So let me go and first try this Claude in Excel. Okay, so let us assume that you want to create a financial model. Okay, so you have to create a financial model for a new business that your new business unit that your company is planning to do. Okay, so say for example you are a tech company. Okay, let's assume that you are an edtech company and you have to set up a new department where you will be setting up a new college. Okay, so let's assume that your company needs to set up a new college and you need to create a financial model for that. So that is the use case that I'm going to be using. So what I'll do is I'll type here in the chat window, okay, create a three statement financial model for a new college. Okay. I can just do this much and just then press enter. However, I want to give it some assumptions that I already have in my mind. So I want to say that I have some assumptions that I want you to take care of. Okay. So let's assume 50 students in year one, 100 in year two, and 200 in year three. The tuition fee is 15,000 US dollars per year per student. Okay. Degree is, let's assume that this is a diploma in FP&A. It's a 3-year degree. Okay. Retention rate year meaning people who join the degree in the first year, out of which how many will continue in the second year. Let's say 10% of the students drop out every year. So let's say 90% is the retention rate. And I'm saying assume all usual expenses of a college in UAE. Currency will be dirhams. Okay, let's see with these assumptions if it is able to execute a model. Okay, so it says I'll build a comprehensive three-statement financial model for a college in the UAE offering diploma in FP&A. Let me first plan this out and then we'll get started. Okay, let me just make it slightly small so that I can cover more screen area. Okay, so it is reiterating the assumptions that I will be taking to build this. So revenue will be new students per year, 50, 100, 200, tuition fee, $15,000 per year. Okay, all the assumptions that we have given. Retention rate, 3-year diploma. Expenses typical that you see in any college, faculty salaries, admin, staff, rent, IT, technology, accreditation, insurance, all these expenses will be there. Okay. Capital expenditure will be there, furniture, IT equipment, leasehold. So if it's a rented premise, it will create the statement finance model, including income statement, balance sheet, cash flow. Okay, and it is giving me the structure. Okay, in first tab I'll create the assumptions. In the second tab I'll add the income statement. And in the third tab, I'll create the balance sheet. Fourth tab will be the cash flow statement. And the fifth tab will be the Claude log where you can see all the steps that I've performed. So that's how it is starting to create. Okay, so it's already starting to populate the assumptions section on the left hand side, if you can notice. So it has already started to populate the assumptions. Okay, so it says USD to AED currency. Why? Because my revenue was in US dollars and my expenses will be in AD. So it's converting that, it's creating that USD to AED conversion assumption. Okay, it's picking up the student enrollment numbers for the first 3 years. Yes, it says 50, 100, and 200. Also, returning students in the second year. So I mentioned that it will be a 90% retention. So 50 students who join in year one, out of which 45 will remain in year two, 5 students will drop out. Out of the remaining 45, 4 more students will drop out in year three, and at the end, 41 students will get the degree. Okay, so that is what it is assuming, but it bases the 90% retention rate. Okay, so it also started updating the revenue assumptions. So okay, I'll not be going through the entire model, but you can notice it is started building just the assumptions tab. Okay, once it completes the assumptions tab, it will create the income statement, it will create the balance sheet, it will create the cash flow statement, and entire interconnected three statement financial model. And tomorrow, if I want to change, right, I think that we will not be able to do 50. Okay, we can only do 25. I can change this to 25, 50, and 100. And all entire model or the income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement will change accordingly. I can change any assumption here, and those will be getting captured in my output. Okay, all the blue color cells are in financial modeling language hard-coded inputs, or those are the inputs which you can change. The black color ones are formulas which you should not be touching. So if you're seeing a blue color cell, you can change it yourself. If I want to change the fee, okay, if I want to increase the fee to $16,000, I can do that. Okay, and I should not be touching this cell, which is a formulated cell. So let me go back to the add-in where it is right now. Okay, so I think it is now completed building the assumptions table. Okay, now it is moving on to the income statement. It says, let me move on to the income statement in sheet 2. Let's see if it is being able to populate the income statement. So now right now it is just added the header and it says diploma in FP&A college financial model. Okay, and you will see the income statement getting populated one by one. Okay, so it does take a little bit of time. So I would say the entire model will take about 10 to 15 minutes, which is nothing compared to if you had to do this manually, it would have been more than 3 to 4 hours. Okay, so you can see the income statement is now populating. You can see the revenue numbers, expense. It also is highlighting some issues. I see two issues. Okay, so let's see if it is able to solve those issues. Okay, let me fix these. I think there are some circular references which it identified and it has automatically fixed those as well. Okay, so if you can notice, the income statement is now complete. Your first year EBITDA margin is like negative 34%, which is typical in such businesses where you will break even somewhere in year two, year three, and you have a negative EBITDA in year one, and then it turns positive from year two onwards. Okay, it is still building the income statement. It is at the, yeah, it's now just completed that. It was updating the EBIT and the taxes and the income statement. Okay, so now it is moving on to the balance sheet. If you can see, income statement looks great. Now let me resize the columns and build the balance sheet. Let me go to the balance sheet tab. Okay, I'll just take a look at the questions in the chat box if there are any. So while it is building, I will just take a few questions. I have added the add-in successfully. Without the membership, it is not yeah, it will not function without the pro membership, as of now at least. So for the time being, you will need the pro subscription of $20 a month to be able to use the add-in. Can you please show the prompt again? Surely, let me go to the top and show you the prompt again. So here is a prompt which says create a three-statement financial model, okay, which is for a new college setup. It's again and again taking me to the bottom because it's working on it. Okay. 50 students in year one, 100 in year two, 200 in year three. Tuition fee is. So let me share this prompt with you so you can also try it out if you want to do that. Yeah, I've shared the prompt in the chat box as well. Okay, let's see if it has completed the balance sheet. Okay, so if you notice, it has now completed the balance sheet, and there is some check at the bottom which is not complete yet. So what it usually does is, if you have done this on your own, you would need the cash flow statement, and then you will have the cash balance for the year, for the end of the year once you complete the cash flow statement. So it will first build the cash flow statement, and if you notice, this section is right now empty. Okay. Once it builds the cash flow statement, it will link the cash flow statement to the balance sheet, and this will get complete. Okay, so let's see if it is on the cash flow statement. Yeah, it has started building the cash flow statement. Okay, so this is an example of a college financial model. You could do any model that you can think of. You could do a SaaS model, you could do a oil and gas company model, you could do a real estate model, you could do a hotel industry model, right? Whatever you feel you want to build. Okay, so it is now building the cash flow statement and it is able to arrive at the ending cash balance. Let me just see what it is showing in the Claude log on the right hand side in the commentary. Okay. Now let me verify the ending cash balance. Okay. I need to update the balance sheet cash reference to the point to the correct row. So it's now taking the cash balance from the cash flow and getting into the balance sheet and checking if that is tallying or it is tying up. Okay, so it says balance sheet is now perfectly, balance sheet balances perfectly. All the years show zero in the balance check now. So it has built a check also here in the balance sheet, and uh, it is now able to come let you know, okay, now the balance sheet is complete. Okay, so all the 3 years balance, okay, this is for the check portion here, which is this line it is talking about. Okay, so you notice, right? It was able to build the three-statement financial model in a matter of, we started somewhere uh, 10 minutes from the start of the webinar when we started giving this prompt, and with a matter of 10 to 12 minutes, it was able to build the entire three-statement financial model, which is dynamic. You can just go to the assumptions section if I want to change something. Okay, let me go to the assumptions section. Say I want to change the some expenses here, right? My rent is say not 800,000, my rent is say 1 million. I can just change that here and 1.5 million, 2 million, or yeah, I can just change that and everything will get updated in the income statement and balance sheet and the cash flow statement. So this was the three-statement financial model. Okay. I just wanted to show you the interface and how to prompt. It's very simple, straightforward. You can talk to it like you talk in a natural language or your uh, simple English, I would say, right? Basic English is what it understands. And let me show you a couple of more use cases. So I will not be prompting in every use case because that will take a lot of time, for which we have the surprise bonus for you, which we will share at the end, where you will see all the use cases and the prompts and data sets which you can practice on your own. Okay, so let me bring up another example. Okay, so one of the most common analysis that FP&A people usually do is the price and volume mix analysis, right? This is one of the most common analysis you would find any FP&A person do. Okay, so what I did was I gave it the data for actuals and budget. So if you can see on the screen, you have the budget data on the top and the actuals data on the bottom. So there are three products in this company: oil, gas, and jet fuel or ATF. Okay, and you have the revenue numbers for budget and you have the revenue numbers for actuals. Not just the revenue numbers, you also have the volume data, pricing data, and the FX data. Okay, so the currency change or the currency conversion change from what it was there in the budget to what it was there in the actuals, okay, which usually happens if you're working across different countries. Okay, so the formula here is if you have to calculate the revenue for oil, it will be your number of units multiplied by the pricing per unit or pricing per barrel in this case, multiplied by the FX rate. So this will be the revenue for oil for the budgeted line. And let me show you what Claude did on the. Let me see if I can open the Claude. Okay, because I had switched the add-in, I have lost the Claude history on the right left hand side. Okay, but I will show you what the Claude prompts were. Okay, so this was a prompt that I had given. Let me make it slightly bigger. Okay, so I had asked to do a simple price, volume, mix, and effects variance analysis between the budget and the actuals for the three products. Okay, across the data set. Okay, so that was a very simple prompt I had given. And based on this prompt, it built this next sheet, which is called PVM analysis, and it did the entire analysis of the three products, and it broke down the variance, which was the if you can notice here, this is the variance between the actuals and the budget. So your budget revenue is 8.8 million and your actual revenue is 8.3 million, and there's a difference, or 88 million and this is 83 million. There's a gap of 5 million, okay, between the budget and the actuals. It is explaining the gap of $5 million, breaking it into volume, mix, pricing, and effects across these three product categories. Okay, so if you total all of these three variances, it totals up to 5.1 million, which is the total variance. Okay, so this is what is one of the most basic analysis that we need to do when we are doing revenue commentary or when you're doing variance analysis, revenue was budget versus actuals, which is a price volume mix analysis. And it's also giving you the methodology, all the calculations. So volume formula is this, mix formula is this, price is this, FX is this, and based on that it was able to create a walk from the budget revenue to the actual revenue, and I can use this to just quickly create a waterfall chart also if I want to do that. If I had instructed it to do create a waterfall chart, it would have done that as well. Okay, so this was a simple price volume mix analysis which would have taken me about half an hour to do, and Claude was able to do it in a matter of a minute or two. Can you please show the prompt again? Okay, so let us do this one. Okay, let I think this is an important one. Let me take a raw data and we'll do it together. Okay, so I'll create a new workbook and I'll just take this data. Okay, I'll just take this data, which was the input data. I'll paste it here, and this is what Claude had updated. So I'll remove this. Okay, I'll remove this. Okay, so this is what I had shared when I had given the prompt. I'll go to the Claude ribbon and let me give the exact same prompt. Okay, so I'll say, okay, let me just go and see, pick it up from here. I don't want to type it again. So I'll say, perform price, volume, mix, and effects variance analysis between the budget and actuals for the tea products across units. Okay, using so this is what I typically use using this data set. Okay, I'll share this in the chat box as well, and let's see if it is able to do it real time. Okay, it says I start by reading the dataset to understand the structure before performing variance analysis. And now it says I have clear picture of the data. Let me analyze the structure. Okay, so it says I can understand the budget table, I can understand the actual table. I also see a waterfall bridge structure in columns H and J's, right? I have already created this to fill it up for it. So it was able to detect that also. Okay, now it is sharing the formulas, right? Or what is the methodology of variance analysis, decomposition methodology. Okay, so total variance is equal to actual revenue minus the budget revenue, which is this 83 million minus 88 million, which is minus 5 million. Okay, and volume variance, it is describing what is volume variance, it is describing what is mixed variance, and now it has started building the formulas. Okay, so if you can see, there's a new sheet that got added, which is the variance analysis, which is exactly what it is doing right now. And you can see live on the left-hand side, the variances calculations being done. If I'll just make it slightly bigger so that you can see it. Okay, so the same calculation, it was able to do that again. And it has broken down the variances into different categories and the so this is the overall table, and now it is doing that decomposition into price, volume, and mix. Okay, so good thing about this is that you don't have to go outside of Excel, and unlike earlier when you were using ChatGPT or any other tool without the Excel add-in, you had to attach the file, go out of the Excel environment, and then come back, uh, download the file from there, and then copy the data. All of that is now gone. You can work it directly inside Excel, which will save you a lot of time. Okay, so if you can see, it has given you the variance breakup into price, mix, and volume and effects. Okay, and it's the same calculation that we saw earlier. Again, the methodology is there. Revenue bridge is there. Okay. Now it is populating the waterfall bridge in the columns H and J, which I had left remained blank. Now you can see that it is populated. Okay, let us now try if we can do the waterfall chart also. Okay, let's see if we can do the chart as well, because next step would be creating the chart. Okay, it is automatically doing it. I don't have to ask. Okay, I think it heard me. So now let me create a waterfall chart on variance analysis sheet. So it's already doing it without asking, or maybe it is able to read my mind. I don't know. Okay, let me go to the variance analysis sheet. Okay, I never asked for a waterfall chart in the prompt, if you recollect, right? The prompt is there in the chat box. I have not asked for a waterfall chart. It is assumed that I will need a waterfall chart, and this is because it has been fed millions and billions of data sets, which might have a similar variance analysis along with a waterfall chart. So it is able to recognize that, and that's why it is able to give a waterfall chart without even asking for it. Okay, now let me create a waterfall chart. Okay, so you can see that there's some red mark here creating a waterfall chart. It's landed into some trouble here. Okay, it needs a single contiguous range. Let me arrange the chart. Okay, so it's doing some formatting before it creates a chart. Okay, now let me make base series invisible snowfield. Okay, it's doing something. Let me. Okay, so after doing the analysis, first time it is got stuck and it is asking me, Claude want to style the waterfall chart colors. Okay, there's potential data loss. Clear the first chart series. Okay. So whenever it has to override something which was already done and you will lose the data, it'll ask you for permission. Okay. So I'll say allow once and let's see. Basically, it will rewrite some of the tables and it'll rearrange some of the data. Okay, now it says everything looks okay. Let me update the Claude log. Okay, so if you notice at the bottom, it has now created the waterfall chart. You can see the budget number, you can see the actual number, and the bridge between the volume, mix, price, exactly how we do in FP&A and the CFO decks. Okay, so this was an interesting use case. Let me go to another one, which is going to be equally interesting. Okay. Dhawal, we have time, right? We can do one more. Let me unmute Dhawal. Okay, one more we can do. Okay, so let me bring uh, another use case where I have my. So what I have here is I have an income statement and a balance sheet, and what I want to typically do is I want to do some ratio analysis on this income statement balance sheet. Fairly common, right? As an FPN or as a finance analyst, you typically end up doing ratio analysis, and you try to understand what's going on with the company's financial. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go again to the home section and I'll open up the Claude and I will just share a quick prompt, perform ratio analysis. Okay. Across, so I'm giving it the broad categories. I'm not exactly telling which ratios I want. I'll say I want uh, profitability ratios. I want liquidity ratios. I want what else do we have? Profitability are your gross profit, net profit ratios. Then you have liquidity ratios like uh, your current ratio, cash ratio. Okay, I want the debt to equity ratios and those types. I'll ask for leverage ratios. Also, I'll ask for valuation ratio. Valuation ratios are your PE ratio and all of those. Okay, so let me perform across categories. Okay, sometimes it gives the it gives the analysis, but it does the hard coding. Okay, so it has improved. So typically, I try to add with formulas. Okay, so I want to see the formulas. Generally, it gives you the formulas, but sometimes it gives you just a hard-coded number. So I'm just adding that with formulas. So it says I'll start by reading the financial data in the FS sheet, which is this sheet. okay, and understand the structure. So it was able to read the FS sheet, read the data. Now let me get the exact cell references with formatting to understand the layout precisely. It's trying to understand the structure of the sheet. Okay. It has created another sheet now with which says ratio analysis. Okay, it says let me try to write ratio analysis using the cell. Okay, it says potential data loss. Claudes want to initialize ratio analysis sheet. Okay, clear range ZZ1. Okay, so there's something there in this particular cell. It wants to clear it. I am okay with that. Let me allow it. Okay, it says let me build a comprehensive ratio analysis for this particular company. Started with the header. So if you can see the header has started populating. Okay, the reason why this one is taking time because the balance sheet and the income statement are not in a very good shape. Okay, so the format is not very standard. Okay. So there are some places where there are merged cells, some places there are, so that's why it is taking time. If you have a cleaner structure of the income statement balance sheet, it will take less time. It is starting to do the analysis, ratio analysis. Okay. Gross profit margin, net profit margin change. Okay. It's now calculated the profitability ratios. Now it is working on the liquidity ratios. Okay, I did not ask for all of these, right? I just asked for profitability ratios. Yeah, now it is giving you the current quick cash ratio and all the liquidity ratios. It will now move on to the next one, which is, I think next one we asked for was leverage ratio. I was expecting debt to equity, debt to asset, all of those ratios. Interest coverage ratios, all of these should populate next. Okay, I think we can stop here. We can take a pause here. So I've shown you good three use cases where you could do in the first use case, we created the entire three statement financial model with just one prompt. In the second one, we did price volume mix analysis, and also we created a waterfall chart with this one prompt. Okay, we did not do anything else. Okay, now in this case, I have just given the income statement balance sheet, and it is able to do the ratio analysis. Looking at the numbers, I can tell you these numbers are right because I have calculated these manually many times, so I know these numbers are right. Okay, I recollect all of these numbers. So there you go. It has completed the ratio analysis. Now it will update the Claude log and it will start formatting. Also now working on the format. Okay. Now I think we should stop here. There are dozens and dozens of use cases more which you will get at the end if you wait till the end. And you will have all the videos, all the data sets, and you can practice it on your own as well. Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen.
Awesome. I hope all of you found that helpful. See, now that you realize how FP&A is changing with Claude and other AI usage in the workflow, right? So AI-driven FP&A leadership is the future, right? So that's where what we have done is we have done extensive surveys and we have asked CFOs what is it that they're looking for in modern FP&A teams. And there are five critical skill sets that CFOs today are looking for. One is core FP&A concepts. That's your budgeting, your forecasting, variance analysis, management reporting. All of that is your core FP&A concepts. Then comes financial modeling. Financial modeling, again, very specific to FP&A, not related to investment banking or valuation or all of that stuff. It's about revenue models, your business model, your sensitivity analysis, scenario planning. All of that is financial modeling specifically related to FP&A. Then comes data storytelling. Yes, you can analyze 10,000 lines of Excel sheet, but your business teams cannot. That's where you convert that into a visual story with a compelling narrative so that the business teams can take effective decisions. So that is what is data storytelling. And then comes business partnering. It's your business acumen, your ability to build strong cross-functional relationships, collaborate with various team members in the company, and then coach them how to take prudent financial decisions. That is what is finance business partnering. And then finally, last but not the least, leveraging all the technology and AI developments that are happening in the FP&A space to be far more efficient and effective. So these are the core five skill sets that CFOs today are looking for in their FP&A teams. So what we have done at FP&A Professionals Institute is over the last 3 years, we have built a solid FP&A certification. It is called the Certified Global FP&A Professional Program. It is a global FP&A certification built and delivered directly by CFOs and FP&A leaders, okay, who have vast experience in their respective fields. There's 10 comprehensive modules, which we'll talk about it in a while. Everything through experiential sessions, real life data, simulations, and you'll also be part of a global alumni network. CGFP program has been taken by students from more than 200 students have taken from more than 25 countries so far. You'll be part of that alumni community as well. We had sessions with a personalized career coach to tailor your career decisions, placement support, your resume review, mock interview preparation, We have also started our own portal. It's called fpnajobs.com, where we're trying to bring recruiters and candidates on one single platform. Access to monthly Q&A sessions where you can directly clarify your doubts with the faculty, top guest speakers, CFOs, digital transformation experts, tool implementation providers. They all come to FPI for monthly guest sessions. You will get all of that access to guest speaker sessions as well. And all of this happens through the comfort of your home, to the best in class LMS. And all the sessions, the live sessions that we do are conducted on Zoom. About 3 to 4 hours of your commitment is required for the CGFPA program. Now, what is covered in the CGFPA program? There are 10 comprehensive modules. I'll let Asif cover the first 5 modules that you see on the left, and then I'll talk about the modules on the right.
So let me talk about the curriculum. On the introduction to FP&A, what we do is we introduce how does the FP&A department and FP&A function looks like in different types of organizations. So it is different in a startup, it is different in a large organization. So how does the FP&A team look like? And what is the FP&A monthly cadence in terms of what do the FP&A teams work on in week one, week two, week three? So there's an entire FP&A calendar which we walk you through using examples and case studies. And that is a little bit about the introduction module. Budgeting forecasting, we cover important budgeting methodologies like top-down, bottoms-up, zero-based, incremental, activity-based budgeting, uh, using real-life case studies examples. We cover the entire annual operating plan cycle, right from the budget guidelines preparation to the final CFO presentation through a capstone project. We have, in terms of forecasting, we cover different forecasting techniques like statistical methods of doing forecasting, like your regression analysis or time series analysis, moving averages. Then you have driver-based forecasting. So we cover different forecasting methodologies, techniques, again using examples, case studies. There are more than 10 examples in the budgeting forecasting module. AI for finance FP&A is the most popular, I would say, very popular these days with the changes that are happening in AI. So just like we saw some examples on Claude, not just Claude, we cover 5 different AI tools at this point, including uh, Copilot, Gemini, ChatGPT, some agentic AI tools. The most popular one is Manus AI, which was taken over by Meta very recently. Okay, so there are more than 5 AI tools that we cover in these modules, and again we use real life FP&A case studies, just like we did today using Claude. Then you have management reporting, which is your most common FP&A reports along with examples and case studies. You have different management reporting frameworks like balance scorecards, KPIs, OKRs, different variance analysis frameworks, different profitability analysis frameworks, what is recharges and allocations. That is a little bit about the management reporting module. Then financial modeling for FP&A is where we cover different FP&A use cases where you can apply best practices in financial modeling and make your models or make your work even much, I would say, much more productive in terms of what you do earlier versus using the financial modeling best practices and techniques. So just like we did the three-statement financial model, we teach you how to do that manually. Okay. Now, one important thing is with the AI coming up, right? It doesn't mean that you don't need to know how to build the processes manually, because AI, as you can see, can make mistakes, and it is your responsibility to be able to review that and catch that and correct that. So doesn't mean that if you have AI building the three-statement financial model, you don't need to learn it. You need to learn it even more now because you will be responsible for any mistakes. So you cannot tell AI has made a mistake. AI is there to help you in terms of fast tracking your work, but the end responsibility will be eventually yours, right? So financial modeling, again, revenue models, different analysis, financial modeling techniques, scenario planning, sensitivity analysis, capital budgeting, all of that is covered in this. So that is a little bit about the 5 modules that you see on the left-hand side. I'll ask Dhawal to talk about the right-hand side modules. I'll have to unmute you, right? Yeah, I'll do that.
Thanks, Asif. So I'll talk about the modules on the right now. So one thing that you will see, which is common in your FP&A roles, will be large data sets, right? And you need to know your way to navigate through these data sets. That's where we are talking about various tools like Power Query, Power BI, SQL. We are also introducing Python and Tableau so that you are able to understand how to deal with these large data sets, convert them process them and convert them into effective visualizations as well. So that's the data analytics module. And then comes financial analysis. See, financial analysis is not just restricted to ratio analysis. There are tons of different kind of analysis that a CFO requires from an internal perspective, from a management perspective. So that is where we're covering horizontal analysis, vertical analysis, different kind of mix analysis, profitability analysis. All of that is covered in the financial analysis module. And then comes storytelling and presentations. Like I mentioned, all the storytelling best practices, how do you build a CFO level presentation, what to include, what not to include. If you're presenting to a large senior audience, then what to say, what not to say, all of that is taught you in the storytelling and presentations module. Then now strategy is a very interestingly placed module. So as and when you start growing senior in your career, right, your senior management will start talking a certain strategic language. At that point in time, you cannot use strategic terms in a very loose way. That's where we're covering all the popular strategic tools and also show you how they are interlinked with FP&A and how FP&A can contribute to these strategic decisions. And then finally, business partnering, where we're talking about business acumen, your ability to build strong cross-functional relationships. We're showing you good 7 to 8 practical examples of how Asif and I have collaborated with various cross-functional teams like HR, business development, plant operations, and all of these different business teams for and added true value to the business. So that is what is business partnering module. So 10 solid modules, everything that you can figure out that you need for FP&A. Don't just think about CGFP and as a course, as a certification. It's a 20 years of our blood, sweat, and tears packed into a compact 6-month program. Not only that, what we are also doing is we are keeping it highly practical. So you will see more than 25 plus case studies, 50 plus examples. We're covering various activities, tools, and frameworks. And finally, you end with a guided capstone project as well, so that it gives you hands-on learning experience in FP&A. And on the tool side, you will also be running a tool track in parallel where we are covering Power BI, Power Query, Python, Tableau, SQL, and we're covering AI tools. And you will see that AI is now getting internalized at regular intervals during the CGFA program. We're referring to various AI tools and showing you how a certain analysis can be done using AI or how a certain presentation can be done using AI. So that's why we're covering all the popular tools like Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Manus AI, and then Copilot. So all these are extremely powerful tools. Of course, each of them come with their own flaw, but I don't say you have to just learn one tool, but a good grip on all these tools will kind of give you an idea of what tool to be used where, right? So this is a truly futuristic AI-driven FP&A leadership program that you can expect from us. Now, what is the eligibility criteria for this CGFPA program? You need to have a bachelor's degree or a global equivalent in finance, accounting, or business. Alternatively, you may have professional qualifications like CA, CMA, CPA, ACCA, or any accounting qualification of your respective country. Now, we don't claim to be a substitute for all these qualifications, but in fact, we are a supplement to these qualifications because FP&A is not taught in these accounting qualifications. Okay? We are also accredited by CPD UK, so you can claim your continuing credits in your accounting qualifications as well. Now, how do you get the CGFPA award? 3 things. One is every Saturday and Sunday we'll be meeting live for 2 hours. Saturday will be the FP&A track, Sunday will be the tool track. So both of them will be running in parallel. And attendance in all these classes, at least 50% of the attendance, live attendance is compulsory. And that will make you eligible for the final examination. Now, apart from that, you are also required to submit a capstone project somewhere in month number 5. All the guidance around the capstone project will be given to you. It's an end-to-end budget presentation that you are preparing for a CFO. And once that submission is done, 50% live attendance and the assignment or the capstone submission will make you eligible for the final examination. Now, the final examination is 50 questions, 100 marks, 2 hours proctored live online examination. Okay, where we're using state-of-the-art tools so that you can give your examination from the comfort of your home. After you clear the examination with at least 50% passing marks, you will get the CGFPA certificate from FP&A Professionals Institute. Now, the ROI for a futuristic course like this, I leave it to your imagination. The course fee investment in this program is USD 1795. There's also an option to pay it over 5 months. The course duration will be for 6 months, where a weekly commitment of 3 to 4 hours of your time is required. We spend maximum time on quality discussions in the classroom. So you are expected to do some pre-reading materials, go through some case studies, assignments, be prepared, and then come to the classroom. That's where you will be able to leverage this program much better. The next cohort is starting on 14th of March 2026. That is when the orientation is. The actual classes will start from 4th of April 2026. Okay. The date that you need to remember is 28th of February 2026, which is end of this month, when the first round of applications are closing. So applications have already started, admissions have already started. So make sure that you at least fill in the application. The application process is completely free of cost. Make sure that you fill in the applications and be in the race for all the early bird offers and everything. Our academic counselors will reach out to you once you fill in the application. You can ask them for any demo lectures. You can ask them for any previous alumni phone numbers. You can do your own due diligence. Don't just take our word for it. There have been tons and tons of testimonials. Many of them have been able to pivot into FP&A roles. Many of them have been able to implement a lot of things that they have learned in their existing finance roles. Again, dozens and dozens of testimonials. You can reach out to enough of our alumni and they'll tell you how valuable the program has been for them. FP&Ajobs.com is our latest initiative. Make sure that you create a detailed profile on FP&Ajobs.com. Hopefully, your next opportunity will come from FP&Ajobs.com. This is where we are trying to bring all the recruiters and FP&A talent on one platform. Again, reiterating the date that you need to remember, 28th Feb 2026 is when the first round of applications are closing for the CGFPA cohort 8. Okay. So make sure that you at least fill in the applications and be in the race for all the early bird offers and everything.
Okay, I've opened up 100 seats. Usually, this is only available for our members. Okay, so I've opened up 100 seats for people who are here in the webinar, so you can take advantage of this. So here you will find all the use cases that we have shown some of them today, and we could not cover all of them. So what I'm doing is I'm adding one use case every day here. So right now there are about 12 use cases, but by the end of March, you will see your, I would say, more than 20, 30 use cases, which you will have with the video recordings and the data sets that you can practice. So for example, the price volume mix that we covered today, all the entire video and the data set and the prompts are there here. We covered the ratio analysis, which is here. Okay. The capital budgeting use case is also interesting one, which we could not cover today. Cohort analysis is something I never thought Claude will be able to do, which it was able to do. Horizontal vertical analysis. Inside financial modeling, you have scenario planning, sensitivity analysis, which we did not cover today. We covered the three-statement financial model. Okay, working up. So I'm adding more use cases here almost every day, and you will get free access to that. So let me share that with you in the chat box. And I would recommend you to enroll it right away because at some point I will make this paid and the free access will go away, or it will be only available for CGFPA members. So if you want to access the database and if you want to watch the videos again, you should enroll into that. I've opened 100 seats for today.
So, Asif, there's one question in the chat box. During the CGFPA course as well for practice, will we need to purchase the pro subscription for all these tools like Claude?
Yeah, so again, I'll repeat. So there are two or three tools for which we will recommend you to keep aside, I would say, $20 budget for, I would say, 3 or 4 months. So that is roughly about $100. Okay, so you can try one tool for a couple of months. Uh, Most likely, what will happen is when you try 3 or 4 tools, you will end up using one or two more, and then you will stick to those. The reason being that you are using it very frequently and it is giving you the ROI on the $20 per month that you are spending. So you should keep aside. I recommended that $100 budget for the 3 to 4 months during which you are doing the program, so that you can test 2 or 3 tools along with us, and you don't have to continue paying for all the tools. If you're using Claude more, then you can just keep that. If you're using, say, Manus AI more, you can use that. You can maybe one or two tools. I would expect you to use on an ongoing basis if you feel that is required. Otherwise, you can just keep one, which is one which you find the most useful. Okay, are you providing paid internship? There is a question that you want to
Yes.
talk about that.
Yeah, sure. So I'll cover that. So what we have done is we have tied up with some employers who are basically FP&A consultants and tool implementation partners. They keep looking for FP&A professionals always. So with them, there is an internship opportunity. So in the upcoming cohort, if you enroll into the CGFPA program, and if you clear the interview rounds with the employer partner, you also have an opportunity to do a paid internship with one of the employer partners. How this will work is that there'll be 2 rounds of interview. One is with FPI, and then the second round of interview will be with the employer. And after clearing both the rounds of interview, you will start with your paid internship, and then you will have to enroll into the CGFPA program and then start your paid internship. Both the things will be running in parallel. So it will be a full-time internship. It's not a part-time thing. So it's a full-time paid internship and where you'll be working on real FP&A processes, clients, tool implementations and all of that. And that will go on for 6 months. The stipend in that is for non-chartered accountants, it is 25,000. For chartered accountants, it is 50,000 per month. Okay. And all the internships will be for uh, Indian residents only, or people who are based in India only, right? So that's the
at this
requirement of the
point.
employer.
Yeah,
At
at
this
this
point,
point.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
We are signing on more employer partners, but at this point in time, the partners' requirement is that the employees are based in India. So that is where the internship is. Asif,
Yeah.
maybe if we have the form, or yeah, I mean, if you're interested in the internship, fill in the CGFP application. Once our academic counselor reaches out to you, you can ask them more information about the internship as well, and they'll help you with it.
The recording for this session, yeah, the session recording will be shared on our YouTube channel. So our FPI YouTube channel will come. Usually the recording gets edited and it comes onto the channel after 3 or 4 days. So next week it will come on the YouTube channel. Also, if you are on our email list, you will get the email as well with the recording. Is the remote internship remote or from office? It is remote,
It
but
is
you need
remote,
to
but
be in.
occasionally you may require occasionally to travel to a client place or an
Yeah.
office location, but generally it should be remote.
Yeah. Again, it depends on the different employers. Some might have
Yeah.
100% remote, some might have requirements. So it depends on where you get placed. So that will totally depend on the where you get placed. Can you please tell me the total INR cost? So that is for the internship, I believe, right? So
Yes.
internship,
No,
the
the CGFP program.
CGFP program, right? The CGFP program is 1795 US dollars. So it comes to about 1.55 lakh Indian rupees. So 1.56 lakhs to be rounding it off.
Yeah. There are
So one and
usually
a
some
half
early
lakh
bird
rupees.
offers.
Yes.
So once you fill in the application, you will get all the details. And there is also an option to pay it in five payment, 5 months as well.
Yes.
Right. See, the idea of the internship was also that, internship is more suited for people who are early on in their careers. If you're already in an established job and if you have 8, 10 years of experience, then please don't go for the internship. Internship is an opportunity for young professionals to, at least get some opportunity to learn and as well as work on and get some experience as well.
Yeah. Ideally, people who have 1 or 2 years of accounting audit experience and they want to get into FP&A, this could be a good way to get some FP&A experience so that you can show that and get your FP&A role with a bigger organization, or you could even continue with this organization if that works well.
Jiva has a question. How much is the early bird offer? Jiva, you will have to complete the application. Our academic
Yes.
counselors will reach out to you.
So
It keeps varying depending on when you enroll it.
yeah, the early bird offer depends on the time when you enroll. So if you enroll 1 month before the start date, you are eligible for some early bird offers. So you should fill up the application form, reach out to the academic counselor will reach out to you and will let you know what is the offer at that point of time.
So Vivek has a question. Is CGFP a complete pathway from beginner to master level in FP&A? The answer is yes, because we have designed it in such a way that it takes you from a beginner level to an advanced level as well. It is definitely taking you to a master level. But again, as you know, FP&A is experiential in nature. Don't think about CGFP as a course or a certification. It's more like how can you possibly get 5, 10 years of experience into a 6 month compressed program? That's what it is. So what we have tried to do is replicate experiential learning, right? It's if Asif and I have to train FP&A staff today in our teams, right? How would we train that person? So that's how the methodology we have adopted, so that you will get 5, 10 years of experience. Like both Asif has worked in 4 different sectors. I have worked in 4 different sectors, right? And all of this cannot be combined unless you have 8, 10 years of experience. So that's what we have tried to do. We have tried to give you a glimpse of our 10 years of experience, 15 years of experience into a 6 month program so that you understand that no matter what company, what kind of a work you go into, you at least have an understanding of what FP&A role is.
Okay, there's one more question. Will there be any job support for experienced professionals?
Yes, we do offer placement support. Now, placement support, I'm using the word very consciously. It's not a placement guarantee. We do support you with your resume prep, mock interview preparations. There's a portal, like I mentioned, there's fpnajobs.com. Consistently, we are speaking to employers and recruiters to try and bring them on the portal as well so that our students get priority opportunities.
Okay, there's a question which is there a community that we can join after the course? So the answer is yes. So the I would say the relationship doesn't end after the CGFPA certification. If you go through the CGFPA brochure and the FAQs, what we have is even after you complete the certification after 6 months, you will be continued to be a part of the CGFPA alumni or the FP&A Professional Institute alumni group, and you will be getting invitations to monthly guest sessions. So we do external guest session almost every month. So the last Saturday of the month, 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. India time, we do a monthly guest session. So you'll get invites to the monthly guest sessions. Also, you will have access to the Slack community where you can interact with other CDFPA members from other batches as well. Okay, which all company recognizes this certification? You want to take that or should I?
Go ahead, Asif.
Yeah. So right now, I would say the certification is more recognized in Middle East and India. So all of these companies that we are tied up with, obviously they are tying up with us because they recognize the certification. Also, we have I mean, I would say many companies who do corporate batches with us. Okay, so there are many companies in India who recognize CDFPA. If you just Google FP&A certification, you will find CDFPA to be among the top five, top six certifications, not just in India or Middle East, but across the globe. And you will see comparisons of CGFPA versus, say, other FP&A certifications. And I would encourage you to do your research, compare all the top five certifications, and then pick the one which is most suitable for you. Don't have to take the CGFPA, but pick one certification and get your upskill in FP&A. That is what is more important. Any paid Claude to Excel and PPT advanced level classes available? Dhawal, you want to answer that?
No, so we do have an AI for FP&A masterclass, which is covering all the advanced topics on various tools, not just Claude, right? So if you want to take that up, only if you're just interested in the AI part of FP&A, then you can go for
Yeah.
the AI for FP&A masterclass, which is available on our portal.
So the AI module that we do in the CGFPA, that is also available as a separate certification that you can do, which is AI for FP&A. If you just want to do the AI, don't want to do the other modules, then you can do the AI for FP&A. But for specifically for Claude, that is there is no such class. And if you notice today, there was nothing to teach, right? It was a very simple prompt that I gave, which was basic English language. Okay, so you just need to practice it yourself and learn it yourself. So I will be surprised if somebody is paying money to just write basic English prompts to Claude. But if people are willing to do that, we will definitely start a cohort.
So what we always encourage, both Asif and I always encourage all our students is to start not thinking in terms of tools, right? But in terms of conceptual understanding. Tools are temporary. Tomorrow somebody will invent a better chat GPT and then it will take over all other tools as well, right? So don't worry about the tool at this point in time. Right now, worry about the skill set to talk to these tools and conceptual understanding. Rule-based stuff, if you're in AP, AR, GL, or any other accounting stuff, that's going to get automated very fast, faster than you think. Okay. So make sure that you are able to get into a role which has analysis, which has business partnering, which has multiple level of interaction with cross-functional team members, preparing presentations, interpretation, right? That is what you should be thinking about right now. Your tools will keep coming and going. There'll never be enough time for you to learn new tools. Like every day, some new tool is coming. Awesome. So Asif, you're on mute. Um,
Yeah, I think
I
we've
think that
covered
brings us to,
all the
yes.
questions. Yeah, good. Yeah, I was about to wrap
Yeah, I
up.
think
Good.
that brings us to the conclusion of the session, and we'll also have to go for the next Q&A call. So, thank you everyone for being here today. Please, feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn. Asif and I are usually very responsive on LinkedIn, so feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. And make sure that you continue to learn, upskill, not just tool perspective, but overall from an FP&A perspective. So keep learning, keep growing. All the very best. Hopefully, we'll see you in one of our programs. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Bye bye.